10 random magic cards rated Dia Numero 22. I believe we're on 22. Yes, good math, Dev. Also, I still know a little bit of Spanish. Took 3 years of it. I really ought to remember some. I think I know about 8-9 words. But anyway, we're going to look at random cards and rate them today. That is the series, in case you haven't caught on by now. Basically what we're doing. Aside from that, though, I do have a couple of things to say before I get started for the first time ever. First thing I need to say is that you may notice the browser is full screen. Somebody in the comments section told me to do that, and excellent suggestion. Second suggestion somebody had is that they want to be able to see the additions and prices over here on the right side of the screen, which makes plenty of sense. So I'm going to chill out up here, and hopefully you can see those things. So we ready to go? First card of the week, ladies and gentlemen. What could it be? I love this card. It's Phantom Warrior. Let's go back. Let's go way back to Portal, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I like the Weatherlight one. 3 mana, 1 and 2 blue for a 2/2 illusion that is unblockable. Notice how it used to say Phantom Warrior is unblockable, and now it says Phantom Warrior can't be blocked because there was just no way of deciphering that line of text before they changed it. What does that mean? Anyway, really, really cool card that I've actually wrecked at least 2 faces with. I was going to say a lot of faces, but really just my buddies Sean and Ryan growing up at the kitchen table is mostly who this card was for. Tried it on Kevin. Didn't actually quite work. He's good. But it's, in any case, yeah, I really like this card a good bit. And it's one that actually still shows up in underpowered cubes or simplified cubes when I do build those. So I'm always going to have a lot of love for Phantom Warrior. Chicken, you want out now? All this and you want out now? Chicken. Anyway, I'm going to let her out in a second. But Phantom Warrior, I'm going to give like a 5.2. It's not very good. Probably doesn't deserve a 5.2. It probably deserves like a 3.6, but I just have too much love for this card. Look, it's my series and I get to just rate cards however I want. I can tell you a card's a 5.4 or whatever, and it's actually a 2. You know what I mean? But in this case, I will recognize my bias, and it's on you to adjust the score a couple of points. Gee, they printed this card a lot more than I thought. That's so many printings. That's ridiculous. Man, Phantom Warrior really is it's got quite the lineage, you know? But second card, it's Baldan Trading. I love this card, guys. First of all, the old Alliance's land border is so cool. That kind of gray and purple. I miss this aesthetic so much, but the BTP is a land, and when it comes into play, you have to sacrifice an untapped mountain or bury the trading post. You can tap it and add 1 and a red to your mana pool, or you can pay 1 and tap it and have it deal 1 damage to an attacking creature. So it's kind of a desert. Kind of a desert you have to pay mana for, but it also produces extra mana, which is really sweet. And there might be reasons why you want to sack a mountain. I can come up with a couple, probably. Still, I've always really liked this whole cycle of lands. Heart of Yavimaya, most famously Lake of the Dead, obviously. So, yeah, Baldan Trading Post is probably not the most famous. Oh, this Keldor and Outpost is another one. So why can't I remember the blue one? There's got to be a blue one. Oh, it's Saldevi Dig or Saldevi Excavation, I think is the blue one. But yeah, this is probably one of the least well-known and least played ones. But that doesn't mean the card is bad. You know, I could see this fitting into a number of commander decks okay. So I don't know. I still like it. I still have love for it. It's a land. It does stuff. I'm going to give it like a 6. You know, a land that does stuff and it comes into play untapped. Come on, man. Sucks the mountain has to be untapped. It's really, really lame. But I guess you sacrifice a mountain and then this taps for as much mana as if you just played a land and not sacked a mountain. So you're not really losing that much. And maybe you want a lower land count than your opponent, right? You're playing like some white cards that care about you having less lands, like land tax or something. You know, there's ways to make this work. But altogether, yeah, I'll give it a 6. It's land that does stuff. Elrazi Monument, a mythic over here. 5 mana for an artifact. Creatures you control get +1/+1, have flying, and are indestructible. At the beginning of your upkeep, sack a creature. If you can't, sacrifice Elrazi Monument. How much is going for? $10. Really $8 on the low end here. And that is because it just got dropped in Modern Horizons 3 Commander with the exact same art. Nice. The Secret Lair drop is kind of cool. It's like $30. It's not worth it, though. It's really not. Technically, the cheapest one is this list printing right here for $7.28, which seems like a pretty good deal. Just for 5 mana, the Anthem effect isn't great, but I might pay 5 mana for an artifact that gives all my guys indestructible and does literally nothing else. So it does have a downside of sacking dudes, but like you would think that with the amount of times I put the phrase sacrifice a creature into Scryfall that I would have come across this more often. I have seen this card before, but never really like truly digested it. I've never had it played against me in a game of Commander or anything like that. So I guess I haven't learned to fear it yet. But the more I look at it, the more it makes my blood run cold. This is probably like a 7.5 at least, or keep in mind, that's a good score too. I know there's probably a lot of people out there right now who are like 8, come on, but like, I'm just not too sure, especially with the downside and with the fact that it's a good bit of mana to get into play in the first place. But flying and indestructible, like screw the Anthem. I don't really care that much about the Anthem effect. It's cool and all that, but flying and indestructible is pretty good, dude. So maybe I should give it an 8. Maybe, what do you guys think? Should probably go ahead and give that an 8er. Moving on. What do you do with this? What do you do with Eternal Witness, everybody? God, what a good. Where's the Secret Lair one? I really like the Secret Lair one. Can we view all prints? There's like multiple Secret Lair ones. I'll know it when I see it. This one. I like this one. This is cool to me. It's double masters. I swear there's a Secret Lair with this art. None of this matters though. None of this matters. Eternal Witness, though, jeez Louise. Everyone knows what this does, but considering I always read the cards, 3 mana, 1 and 2 green for a 2/1 human shaman. When it ETBs, you may return target card from your graveyard to your hand. So any old card unconditionally from your yard to your hand. It's a regrowth on a body, and the body is basically a Savannah Lions. When you think about it, right? Regrowth is 2 mana for this effect, and then Savannah Lions is a 1 mana 2/1. So kind of slam them together, make them kiss. This is some of the better value you can get on a card in like the history of Magic, or at least it was at one point. I think we do have to respect Witness, though. I'm going to give this card an 8.2, and I know that's higher than Elrazi Monument, which has a much splashier effect, but Witness can do an awful lot of things for an awful lot of decks. It goes in so many different Commander decks, and cubes for that matter. It was a modern played card for some time. It was a standard played card while it was in standard, even though Affinity was in standard alongside it when it first got dropped. So this has a long and storied history, and probably one of the more famous Magic cards of all time. Top 100 famous Magic cards of all time. Discuss amongst yourselves. Yeah, I have to give this an 8.2. I'll reiterate that score. I gave myself time to think about it and adjust, and no. 8.2. Move on to Tempting Witch. 3 mana, 2 and a black for a 1/3 human warlock. When it ETBs, you get a food token, and you can pay 2, tap it, and sack a food to have a player lose 3 life. Pretty cool in food decks in Commander, which are probably going to have like a slight temporary resurgence with Bloomburrow just now coming out as I record this video. If you're watching in 2032, regard that statement. But yeah, there's a bunch of food stuff in that set. There was just a bunch of food stuff in Wilds of Eldraine too. So I imagine this card gets slightly better as time goes on without actually ever being very good at all. So I'm going to give this a 4.9, slightly below average, but I could see this making the reels, making the rounds is in a food deck in Commander if you're kind of taking it easy, man. But let's move on to Scrapskin Drake. 3 mana, 2 and a blue for a 2/3 zombie Drake with flying that can block only creatures with flying. Did you know that this is a reprint of Cloud Elemental that has at least one more relevant creature type? Yeah, Cloud Elemental is from Visions and has a much better art than this. It really does. This is good art. Don't get me wrong. I like Kev Walker. No disrespect to the man. And it does have his sort of signature style to it, but Cloud Elemental is a beautiful looking Magic card to me, man. Like actually beautiful. As a matter of fact, what if? Remember, 3 mana, 2/3 flying can block only creatures with flying. So let's take a look at the original Cloud Elemental. That is not it. How many times have you been printed? Not as many as I would have thought. Look at that. Look how cool that looks. Look how Adam Rex just crushed it, dude. It looks so awesome. We played this back in the day. When Visions came out, we played this card. How far we've come. No, and I'm not lying either. It's in a world championship deck. I would not do that to you. If I remember a card getting played, it probably did. It's not a guarantee though. But yeah, Cloud Elemental is a sweet card, and so I'm going to give Scrapskin Drake. I would give Cloud Elemental like a 4. So I'm going to give Scrapskin Drake a 3.9 because the art's not as good. But we'll move on to Mortarion Diamon Primarch. I've never seen this card in my life. It's a Warhammer card. It is currently going for 18 cents. 6 mana, 5 and a black for a 5/6 legendary Demon Primarch with flying. It has Primarch of the Death Guard. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay X. If you do, create X 2/2 black Astartes warrior creature tokens with menace. X can't be greater than the amount of life you lost this turn. So you have to hit yourself on your turn and then pay mana. And it costs 6 mana to get a 5/6 flyer out in the first place. Mohammadi Jinn, that's pretty good. 6 mana for a 5/6 flyer. So what would I rate Mohammadi Jinn? Like a 4.2? We'll see when we get there. This is cute, and obviously it's a neat build around that lets you build in a sort of unique way. And these I typically really like as commanders specifically, but I'm still going to give this card like a 5.1. You know what I mean? I don't think this card is that great, but I gave a really bad card a 5.2 earlier, so I'll give this like a 5.6. I think that's probably more like it. I don't think this is quite in 6 territory, but again, I like interesting, different, unique sort of commanders. This definitely falls in those lines, so I'm going to give it like some low. Cool, dude. I like his chains and stuff, man. I like your chains, dog. Let's move on, though, to last card of the day already, everybody. It's Nerd Rage. This is from Fallout. I have also never seen this, but this goes for $2.25, and this goes for $20.92, even though I don't really see difference between these two cards. But anyway, Nerd Rage is 3 mana, 2 and a blue for an enchantment. It's an aura that enchants a creature. When it ETBs, draw 2 cards. Okay. Enchanted creature has, you have no maximum hand size. And whenever this creature attacks, if you have 10 or more cards in hand, it gets +10/+10 until end of turn. That's cute. But it's just cute, right? That's all this actually is. It's neat, though, kind of a divination that you have to have a creature in play for. So that's kind of neat. +10/+10, huh? So draw 2, and you have no maximum hand size. For 3 mana, it has to stick around, though. I don't know. This is, like I keep saying, it's cute. This is mostly cute, but is it actually good? I don't know. I just saw the episode of Shuffle Up and Play where Charlie, Moist Critical, has like his half of his deck in his hand or whatever because he has no maximum hand size. So I guess if you throw this on like an unblockable dude, give it +10/+10. Like, how hard is it to have that many cards in Commander? Especially when this gives you no maximum hand size. This is better than I think it is. I mean, it is worth some money. So I don't know. I'm going to just give this like a 5.8. You know how I'm always hard on auras. I really am. But yeah, it seems like an aura that's probably at least worth playing some. So 5.9-ish. Anyway, that is all for your Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think I was going to be late today? Do you think I was going to not put out one of these today? That it was going to be the end of the streak already? No. We're going for 100 episodes, and then we're going for 1,000 more episodes. We're going to be in here for the long haul, everybody. 1,000 episodes is only 3 years. We're doing 10,000. Pretty easy. Don't think that I'm not going to be here one of these days. I'm going to be here every day, baby. I was just a little late today. I'm trying to fix my roof, and it costs a lot of money, and you have to talk to a bunch of people. So it took me some time to get here. I'm sorry. Anyway, that's all for today, guys. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye.